Imagine a kingdom where even death could not claim power, where kings believed they ruled not just in life, but for eternity. Ancient Egypt was a world obsessed with immortality, a civilization that bent nature to its will, carving temples into stone and lifting pyramids that touched the sky. But behind this grandeur lurked a ritual darker than gold, more sacred than temples, a process that turned flesh into something eternal. This was no ordinary burial. It was the mummification of pharaohs, a ritual drenched in mystery, faith, and blood. Tonight we peel back the linen wrappings of time to expose the secrets the desert tried to bury. Who were these men that gods walked beside? And why did their obsession with life after death lead to rituals so chilling they defy human imagination? The answers lie within the embalming chambers, where eternity was crafted, one cut at a time. Power was intoxicating for a pharaoh, yet fragile. He commanded armies, built monuments, and was worshipped like a living god. But when the sun set, even a pharaoh trembled before the shadow of death. To the ancient Egyptians, the afterlife was not a dream. It was a second kingdom, a continuation of rule. If a king's body decayed, his soul would wander lost forever. That fear became an obsession. Preserve the flesh, protect the soul. Thus began the ritual of mummification, an art so sacred priests swore eternal secrecy. These weren't simple ceremonies. They were acts of devotion and dominance over mortality. Imagine the pharaoh lying still, surrounded by chants and burning incense, as the first incision was made, not by steel but by a sharpened obsidian blade, glistening in lamplight. Each cut whispered a promise. You will live forever. But immortality came at a cost, and this is where the darkness truly begins. The embalming chamber was silent, save for the rhythmic beating of drums echoing through the stone halls. The body of the pharaoh lay upon a golden slab, surrounded by priests in jackal-headed masks. This was no place for tears. It was a sanctuary of transformation. The chief embalmer approached with ritual precision. With a blade of volcanic glass, he sliced into the left side of the king's body, removing the organs one by one, each placed in jars carved with the faces of gods. But not the heart. The heart was sacred, the seat of the soul, and it must remain. The priests believed that by removing decay, they were stripping death of its power. Yet as the body was emptied of life, something unsettling lingered in the air. Was this devotion to the gods, or man's desperate rebellion against fate? In the flicker of torchlight, the pharaoh seemed to watch, his dead eyes daring death to claim him. But the mummification chamber was not all horror. There was an intimacy in the process, a sensual devotion. After the organs were sealed away, the empty body was washed in palm wine and fragrant oils, lotus, frankincense, and myrrh. Imagine the sweet aroma filling the stone chamber as soft linen touched royal skin. Women were sometimes present, not queens but temple attendants, chosen for their beauty, tasked with anointing the pharaoh's body. To the priests it was sacred. To the attendants it was an honor laced with temptation. Whispers echo in ancient texts of moments when devotion blurred into desire, when the body of a god-king became more than a corpse, when the ritual of eternity brushed too close to forbidden flesh. Was it sin, or was it worship? No one dared speak, for the dead pharaoh was still their ruler, even in silence. In these moments, death became almost human, fragile, sensual, and unspoken. Once cleansed, the pharaoh's body was buried beneath mountains of natron, crystals of divine salt said to dry the flesh and halt decay. 40 days the body rested in the embrace of this ancient element, as priests recited spells from the Book of the Dead. Each chant was a bridge, each word a weapon against the nothingness beyond. Outside, the Nile flowed eternal, while inside the tomb, time was being conquered. And yet the process was not without fear. If the body cracked, if the skin withered too soon, the soul might be lost. The priest watched with anxious devotion, knowing a single flaw could condemn their king to eternal darkness. Was immortality worth this struggle? Or was it a prison built from salt and fear? In the silence of the embalming room, the answer was buried under layers of linen and secrecy. The salt was brushed away, the body hardened, preserved, pale as alabaster. Then began the most delicate ritual, the wrapping. Linen strips soaked in resin were wound around limbs with meticulous care. Layer upon layer, like time itself folding upon eternity. Amulets of gold and lapis were placed between wrappings, each charm a spell, each knot a barrier against evil. It was a work of devotion, but also of possession. Every fold whispered, "This is ours, this will not rot. This king will not fall to the worms of earth." Some say the priests spoke to him as they wrapped him, telling secrets of the afterlife, assuring him that soon he would rise again, crowned by the sun. But as the final shroud covered his face, the question lingered. Did these rituals grant life after death? Or was it just man's greatest illusion? Now sealed in his wrappings, the pharaoh was not placed in the ground, but in a tomb, a palace for eternity. Gold glimmered under flickering torchlight, treasures piled like mountains, food and wine for the soul's journey. Women, too, were not absent. Some attendants were said to be sacrificed to serve the king beyond life, their beauty entombed with his bones. This was devotion pushed beyond morality, love twisted into eternal bondage. The priest believed they were ensuring paradise, but what if they were imprisoning souls instead? In the silence of that tomb, where no breath would ever stir again, desire lingered, a frozen moment between life and death, preserved for eternity. And yet, as history would prove, no secret stays buried forever. For centuries, these tombs slept beneath the desert sands, holding their secrets close. Until one day, men with picks and greed in their eyes broke the silence. The pharaohs had sought eternity, but they had not foreseen this. Their wrappings torn, their treasures stolen, their bodies paraded before the world. And yet, even as they lay under museum glass, the aura of power remains. Some say the curse of the mummies is real, that those who disturbed the dead paid with their lives. Was it vengeance or coincidence? Perhaps the pharaohs were right. Perhaps eternity was never meant to be shared. And so, as you close your eyes tonight, remember, beyond the golden mass and desert winds, a truth still lingers. Immortality is never without a price.